at the gym. How bad I smell like shit.
You gotta work out, bro.
Like 7
Working out's
years.
important. Working out's important, but look at that. Kid's fucking yoked up.
Yeah, we're getting it in.
Welcome back. We're on, bro. Row 26. We're here with the boys. We got the commissioner in the house. We got our other boy, Javi, in the house. John, talk to me, kid. You just came from the gym. You feeling swole, kid? How you doing?
I fucking ran home from the gym. No car. Just kidding. Sixers, Hotheads, welcome back. Dreamers, of course. We got the guys with good hair with no hats, the guys with bad hair with hats on, ready to fucking rock. I'm very excited for the show tonight. Welcome, Rob, the commissioner. Welcome, Javier, fucking my former roommate. Good dude, great dude.
Fucking St. John's, Rick Pitino.
Sure. Appreciate you, boys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Scumbag, Rick Pitino.
I like that you brought up about the hair. You know, just got a fresh cut.
Yeah,
We both got the beards going too.
Yeah, you got beards and hair. You got beards to cover up your fat faces.
I'm fucking Patrick O'Houlihan right now. Look at this. Can't grow shit
We got
out
cars. We drive.
Oh, that's true.
I hear you.
Damn, you guys are big tough. But we'll get right into it. We're gonna start off with the Hots Corner tonight. Obviously, this is a different type of segment for some of you with the four of us here. So we're gonna break it down with 5 questions for each of them. 5 rapid fire questions. John's going to take care of his old roommate, his old St. John's roommate. And I got the commish, our former champion. I'll take care of him with some questions. But John, why don't you kick it off for Javi? Let us know Javi's all deepest, darkest secrets. That's the questions we want.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to get into Javi's deep, dark secrets. I don't think we have a long enough show. But we'll start off with some fun questions. I'll go with free massages for the rest of your life. No Deshaun Watson, just regular fucking professional massages, or free house cleaning for the rest of your life.
I'm gonna go with free massages. It's just so crucial. I got one the other week.
Free massages. We discuss it after. Free massages. Quick answers.
Free massages. Sorry.
All right. Top 3 Mexican athletes.
The fuck, bro? I'm Mexican, but not that Mexican, bro.
All right, favorite Mexican. Just give one. Favorite Mexican athlete.
Ronaldo? I don't fucking know, dude. Like, I really
he's
don't know.
I think he's Brazilian.
Cristiano Ronaldo is from Portugal. Ronaldo is from Brazil. He boxed this past weekend. You saw him fight live in Vegas. He's a Gariño.
Holy shit! Yeah, he's the white Mexican guy. I can't even think of his fucking name right now, bro.
All right, your favorite Mexican athlete?
Canelo. Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Okay. Would you rather be a pro surfer or skateboarder? That was embarrassing.
Damn, I feel like pro surfers get more pussy, but skateboarding, in my opinion, like I would be a professional skateboarder.
Okay, done. And that's 3. All right, name one thing that men do differently than women.
One thing?
Yeah.
Fucking.
He goes, one thing?
Yeah, were you about to list like 9?
Fucking handle their emotions.
Ooh.
Okay. Maybe not true for me, but we'll move on.
Man.
Would you rather be 6'5", but go shaved head bald at 25? Or 5'10" with a perfect head of hair?
5'10" with a perfect set of hair.
All right, go to Robbie.
All right, Rob, here we go.
Let's go, boys.
All right, Trevor Lawrence or Derek Carr?
Ooh. To start a franchise or today?
I didn't say anything. I said Trevor Lawrence or Derek Carr.
Up for interpretation. You got to go.
I'm going to go with Derek Carr.
All right. Would you rather your team win the Super Bowl or you win all your fantasy leagues?
Super Bowl.
All right.
Steak
from a steakhouse, pasta fresh from Italy, Spanish food in PR, or Japanese food from Japan? Rank them.
You got to run it back, man.
I'll run it back. No problem. Steak from steakhouse, pasta fresh from Italy, Spanish food in PR, Japanese food from Japan. Just rank them.
I think that's in order right there.
Steak 1, pasta 2, Spanish food in PR 3, Japanese 4.
Bang.
Wow. Okay. Fuck 1, marry 1, kill 1. Talk to a girl, Kim Kardashian, Bobby the podcaster.
Bobby the Prodcaster?
The podcaster.
He doesn't know who
I
that is. He doesn't know who that is.
Sorry. So Rob knows who that is. He sent me a clip of her.
know.
So this was specific to Rob. So he knows.
Was this the fuck, marry, kill?
Yeah.
Damn. And say it again. What are my options?
Hawk
Some dude was
Tua,
on there? Gotta
Hawk
kill that
Tua,
guy, right?
Kim Kardashian, Bobby, the podcaster.
Oh, fucking. I can't marry Bobby.
Are you killing Bobby?
No, I can't kill her. I'd definitely, I guess, kill Kim Kardashian.
Okay.
She's got enough.
Which one you
She's
Which
got
one you
enough
marry?
to-
Which one you marry?
I'd marry.
Marrying
You
Bobby.
can't marry her. She would just cheat on
We'll
you.
talk about it after, but you got
All
to
right.
figure it
So
out.
we'll keep it moving there. So then,
Bobby,
wait. Clarification: who you fucking there?
Damn. Probably Kim before I kill her.
Oh, okay. So it is Kim. All
No,
right.
I don't-
We'll go back to it. What's
Bobby
the most
Altoff. That's what you
most
said.
overrated song of all time?
That "Oh My God" song that the Mets fucking are driving right now.
All right. How many did I ask just now? Wait, hold on 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got one more. Who is the dumbest smart person in our fantasy football league?
Nick Murray for sure. Dumbest smart person.
All right, let's get
easy
into it. Let's
answer.
get into it. I love it. All right, that was 5 questions. Hots, kick it off.
All
Go to
right, let's
Javi.
go back and forth, like one of Javi's and
All
one
right,
of Rob's.
I'm down. So,
All right.
all right, so we'll start with Trevor Lawrence and Derek Carr then. Let's kick it off there. That's a nice little football question here. Obviously, we're a sports podcast, so we just try to keep it within relativity here in a sense. So,
For sure.
Rob, give me some of your thoughts around Trevor Lawrence versus Derek Carr.
Man, Trevor, I feel like Derek Carr's just been through it. He's been battle tested, been through it. He's never really got that far.
Do you think he's ever had like the right roster anyway to be able to make something happen?
I mean, I think he's been tossed around a bit with new offensive coaches.
True.
You know, I feel like now with the Saints, he's got. I see Nick texting me. I'll remember that, brother. I'm glad that you're tuning in. At
This
least.
is what it is. This is what it is when you have to put something on the spot on wax. This is like crazy.
All right.
No, I think
But-
Carr under pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like your take. Hots, what do you think, man?
Yeah, no, I like Derek Carr over Trevor Lawrence, especially if we're talking like right now. Obviously, it's only 2 weeks into the season, but he seems to have a new swagger to him. He hit like the Michael Jackson grab his dick in the
Saw
end
that.
zone, like touchdown celebration and shit. He
Yeah.
fucking hit like, he seems to have a new swagger to him. He's making some big time throws to Shaheed. I really like what Clint Kubiak is doing, the new offensive coordinator in New Orleans. Obviously, I'm a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. Watched that game, wanting to shoot myself in the face from start to finish. But that was impressive. I think the play calling was on point. I think that team is actually gonna, has a lot of potential this year. That was part of my hot take of the Falcons aren't going to win the division was how good the Saints looked week 1, and then they looked even better week 2. In terms of Trevor Lawrence, it's like he still needs to show something. We talked about it last week on the pod, and I think Derek Carr is definitely the guy, and he's got NFL pedigree too. He had a big brother in the league. Sometimes that stuff pays fruition when the next generation comes along. What do you think, Zach? Javi's going to sit this one out.
No, I mean, I agree with your points. I think I would lean Carr. I feel like we've seen the most of who Derek Carr is in a sense, and I feel like Trevor Lawrence maybe still with the right coach or system could get to another level. That's the only thing I would say maybe counter this. I was finding the devil's advocate in the argument is that Derek Carr, we've kind of seen who he is. He's a streaky player. He kind of gets it going, and all of a sudden, mentally, he can just go into these brain farts of multiple weeks on it, to end the season. So he has impressive games. There was like a game they had to win to make the playoffs, if I remember correctly, a couple years back that he played really well in. He's never really had an elite defense, so it's hard to tell how really good he is. But yeah, same thing with Trevor Lawrence too. He's been underwhelming. I feel like this year was a year that we thought Trevor Lawrence was going to come out and start smoking it. They drafted Brian Thomas. They gave him another weapon. Brought in Gabe Davis, another big target. They still got Ingram. They still got ETN. They still got guys. So the fact that they're just not getting it done, and it's, he looks ugly doing it too. He doesn't really seem like he understands the protections all the way. Sometimes he's getting sacked like crazy in that game against Cleveland. Like he didn't really know what was going on. Myles Garrett was like chewing his lunch. Easy. That was easy money. So I don't know. I tend to agree with what you guys are saying about Derek Carr. So we can keep it moving here. Hot, do you want to get the next one with Javi?
Yeah, first one was free massages for the rest of your life. No Deshaun Watson. or free house cleaning for the rest of your life. And you have massages. You were getting into, you just got one recently. How was that?
Yeah, it just feels amazing. You know, those little fucking shoulder bumps you get, they just like straighten them out. I would love to just have that every week or so. I think it's amazing for your body. Cleaning, I can fucking clean. Okay, so yeah, massages.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You can't give yourself a massage. You can clean your own house, but I don't know. For me, it's close. It's close. Like massages are great for recovery. They feel good. But I'll be honest, I like had a free massage gift card since like Christmas and still haven't used it. Like if someone was like, "Yo, here's a clean your house gift card," fucking that shit is getting used that weekend to like deep clean, fucking move shit around. Like I'm talking about legit cleaning service. But that being said, if I also knew like, oh, I have these free for life, and I could schedule a weekly, get a good, massage woman who does a great job, deep tissue, I think it is a good answer. Where are you at with it, Rob?
Bro, honestly, one of the best feelings I think is when you're on vacation and you come back after the beach or the pool and you come back to your hotel room and that shit is spotless. You got maybe little chocolates on the bed. It's all made up for you.
Interesting. I had no idea where you were going. You took me on a loop there. I thought you were going to say there was a table out ready for your massage. I honestly thought you were going a whole different way.
I think
you
that
played me right there.
Cleanliness when you get there and it's all nice and crisp.
Wow.
Rob was like that. Rob was like that meme. It's like you had me in the first half. Like I was thinking the same thing, Zach. He's like, and then you come back to the room and there's a hot stone massage set up for you.
Bro,
if the housekeeper also wants to be the masseuse, by all means.
Yeah.
No, but he's right though. When you do come back, like you leave the room a mess when you're on vacation, then you come back and that shit is cleaned up. You leave towels all over the floor, and then you come back and they're all folded in a fucking swan on your bed. That shit is fucking awesome. What about you, Zach? What are you taking?
Yeah, not massages for sure. That's not my steez. I'm not really somebody that gets a lot of massages. Definitely would take the cleaning because I do the cleaning and I know how much it sucks. So as much as cleaning is easy and I'm definitely know how to do it, and I'm probably type A asshole about it, even to be clear. So even more so than Christy, I'm definitely much more anal about cleaning in a sense. So especially the petty shit, like the little things on the ground and stuff like that. Like I like the floor being clean. That sounds crazy, but like I just like when the floor is clean a lot. So I don't know. Massages to me, like I like the rub down every now and then, I guess, on a vacation, like exactly what Rob just described. But I'm not fishing for one locally. If you ask Christy, she would say massages in a heartbeat. She gets one every week, literally every week. Yeah, she's like one of those people that's dedicated. She's like a member, I believe, of something. I'm sure, like. Yeah, so definitely getting the massages always. I'm the opposite. Rarely.
One thing's true also is that like cleaning you could do like daily. Like no one wants to get like an hour massage every day. Like you could literally get your house cleaned every single day for the rest of your life while you're at work.
And I would.
As opposed to like you get one massage a week. Like you get more value out of the cleaning.
Yeah, it's an interesting question though. I liked it. It was interesting. Weird for sure because it's so different of things, but it's interesting Javi went with the massages, man. If you get them a lot, though, it makes sense. All right, what was this other question here? Would you rather your team win the Super Bowl or you win your fantasy leagues was the question.
This is the stupidest. This is the stupidest question I've been asked.
I gotta know who I'm talking to.
This is the dumbest.
I've never seen a Super Bowl.
Anyone who would rather win the fantasy league than...
I should have asked Casey this question. I fucked up.
Say it again? You would rather win your fantasy league.
I don't.
Never.
I said my. No, I said.
No.
You said the Jets. You said the right answer. No. You're good. But
Jack's
talking about that it's a layup. But I'm saying there are certain people in the league where it's not a layup.
Bro, I thought you were saying I was crazy. I was like, bro, have you seen?
I would lock in never winning fantasy football ever in any of my leagues ever again.
Well, you do that already.
Javi, what is the answer to this question for you?
Wait. Didn't I beat you in the championship last year of baseball?
Yeah, baseball.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Javi, what is the answer to this question? Give me this.
So for me, if the Chargers were still in San Diego, I would say Chargers win the Super Bowl. However, they left to LA. I still watch them. I still like them, but fuck them. I'll take the $2,000 from the league.
But Javi got betrayed by his team. He doesn't have a team. Like he's not a diehard fan of the Chargers anymore.
I've contemplated who else to go for. I can't go for Cowboys.
Validated question though. Validated.
Yeah. No.
Solid.
Validated. Go ahead. Take the next one.
Dude, the Cowboys fucking winning the Super Bowl. I'm
serious. I'll sell it all. You can have every single entry fee for the next 10 years for the Giants to win the Super Bowl. The next 10 years, you can have the entry.
I'd give up like the nail from my pinky, like forward. Like cut that all off.
This is like its own segment. Like I will give up, and then you have to like name something that you end up having to give up.
That's true. We can have a whole podcast of what you give up for the
what
Super
things
Bowl.
you would give up, whether or not you give it up or not for your team to win the Super Bowl.
I would take a baseball bat to my car. Every light, what is it? Windshield, all that shit. Fucking for a Super Bowl.
Jesus.
Drive with fucking garbage bags in my windows.
I don't know if I'm doing all that, but I'm definitely not winning my fantasy team over.
Flick my nephew right in his forehead, the little baby.
How old your nephew?
Cox is assaulting babies.
Is he like 3 years old?
Oh, for sure. He's not even. He's like 1.5. Flicked right in the head. He'd cry and shit.
I'm clipping that.
Probably he might hate me for the rest of his life.
I'm clipping that. That's amazing.
But yeah. So Javi, your next question was, would you rather be a pro surfer or a skateboarder? Your initial thought was surfers get more pussy. I mean, maybe not.
Ryan Sheckler has something to say.
They have more access. I say they'd have more access probably right away. They like get off and they're just girls in bikinis when they're like done working.
Okay, sold.
Skateboarders are like more famous though. Like I feel like a skateboarder, you have more chance of like dating another celebrity.
Let's be like Kelly Slater, which is like one guy.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to like there's dozens of famous skateboarders.
I grew up in San Diego where I had the option to do both, and I grew up skateboarding. So like I love skateboarding. Like as a kid, it's been years for me, but I would love to be like a pro at it and just be able to just do crazy shit.
Potts is right. The amount of legends in skateboarding is just unbelievable. Eric Koston, P-Rod, Ryan Sheckler, Deerdeck. Like there's so many guys. You could just go at Berquist. There's Tony Hawk. There's just legends in skateboarding that are just everywhere. Danny Way, legends. So
low key, one of the best shows ever, low key, is called King of the Road. It was like Thrasher would do it in their like magazine every year where like skate teams went out and would do like scavenger hunts. And then Vice made a series out of it. Like I think it was like 2 seasons, but it was so good. They'd have to do like tricks in certain areas, but there'd also just be like fuck around with the boys challenges too. Like you get points for like makeouts, and they'd always make the young kid on the team like try to make out with as many girls to like earn points and shit. It's a very fun. Like there was like get married, and like dudes on the same team would like get married to each other to get like points to try to win the contest. It's very cool show.
Like Jackass combined with like fucking I don't know, like Tony Hawk. Like pro skater type shit. That sounds sick.
Nah, it was awesome show. But yeah, I think they're both good choices to be honest. Though at the end of the day, because if you're like a pro surfer, that's also just you're definitely for sure getting a super hot chick. No questions asked.
You're living on the beach. You live in the simple life.
And you're like, and being less famous sometimes is an advantage. I just don't know how much money those guys make versus the skateboarders who get the sponsorship deals on the board. What are you taking, Rob?
I don't know, man. Honestly, I tried to watch surfing with the Olympics a couple months back, right? And it was cool for the first couple waves, and then it was done.
It's good as like background shit. It's like a background thing while you're doing shit in the house.
Zach, were you the one talking to me about watching surfing also, or was that? Yeah. So you guys both watched surfing in the Olympics. That's wild.
Yep. Maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes.
Bro,
it's all about exposure.
It's reach. It's outreach.
It's about exposure, though. You're going to get more exposure as a skater, less exposure as a surfer. Maybe geographically, if you live maybe like on the West Coast or in certain areas where surfing is more popular, maybe I'd take that. But
you brought up
where
a great
I'm at
point.
now,
you brought up a great point. Skateboarding is done everywhere. Surfing is only done in certain locations. That's like actually probably the major point is like where Javi is in San Diego. It's relevant to compare the two. But for a lot of us, like in the middle of the country, I'm sure surfing is like, I've never done that in my life. And skateboarding is something that maybe a lot of my boys or someone in my network does or I do.
A skateboarder could land a Kim Kardashian. A surfer couldn't land a Kim Kardashian level celebrity, which transitions into our next question. That's a pro.
I made my list. There.
Fuck one, marry one, kill one. Talk to a girl, Bobby the podcaster, Kim Kardashian.
All right, write this down. This is
For the record, because you're an engaged man about to get married, that's why I made the 3 options so ridiculous. For the record,
Right,
I'm not
listen.
putting any relevance behind any of it.
All right, I'm
What are
gonna
you
throw
gonna
a hawk to a girl.
What we're gonna do is 3 ex-girlfriends? What do you mean? It's
Kill.
If there's any kind of relativity,
All right, here we go.
like even
right,
asking
sorry.
certain types of girls.
Sorry, Rob.
I'm
Zach
very
just
out
keeps
there
saying
for
shit
sure.
that makes me laugh. Go ahead,
I'm just
Rob.
putting
Here's
an
my
exclamation
official
point
answer.
behind it. That's all. Oh,
All right, I'm
man.
gonna fuck
That's
him
funny.
with a rubber for sure. I'll marry Bobby because honestly, with her wits, she'll keep me busy and she'll
I think
keep
that's
me
right.
entertained. And then the hawk to a girl, she's gotta go.
That's trash can. Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
switch those two. Might have to marry Kim.
There's something about the
Nah,
hawk
yo.
girl that's pretty sexy.
I feel
She's
like you might have to marry Kim
irrelevant.
because of the
Bro,
bread.
I don't
Irrelevant,
want
but
to
she's
be
sexy.
married to someone
The
who's
bread,
getting
though,
roasted
the
on
bread.
Tom Brady
No,
roast
yeah,
about.
you got.
You know
Bro,
what I'm saying?
Got it. Or
Nah,
dry.
you
Got it.
you
I'm
got
saying
to marry
marry. You
Kim.
don't have to- I'm saying prenups or anything like that. You're marrying
No.
that.
No,
I'm
you
not
have
taking the
to.
Kanye West role.
You have to marry
Save
Kim
that
just for the
Kanye
money.
West.
You have
Just
to.
for the money, you have to marry Kim. It goes back to our song that got a few minutes banned. I want the dough more
Yeah.
than you know. You know, you gotta marry Kim. I don't think Javi knows who the Bobby girl is, but she's pretty
That
bad.
blonde-haired,
I
deadpan
don't-
interviewer girl who interviewed
Yeah.
Kodak Black and all these random
Oh,
people.
the one that's just super awkward chick.
Super awkward
Yeah.
girl. Yeah, you've seen
Yeah.
these clips. Yeah.
All right, I changed my stance. Yeah, she's sexy. Yeah, I'd kill the hawk to a girl.
I'm going. If I were to go off the wall, I'm gonna go ahead and make an argument. Maybe devil's advocate, whatever you're gonna say. Hawk to a girl. One, like, you know, the obvious, but also she seems pretty like funny and down to earth and like normal, like human. Like, I bet she's a nice, good girl to hang out with. Funny.
Right.
Girl can make you laugh. We talked about it before on the podcast. That is like one of attractive characteristics.
Yeah.
A girl who can make you laugh out loud. So
For sure.
I think
She
she
seems-
could actually make you laugh.
She seemed super awkward though, yo. I saw her on honestly like a Poker Stars type like YouTube
I think I
thing
saw
that
that
I was
clip.
watching.
She's
and
funny.
She was just like that annoying girl at the table. She's gotta go.
She became a celebrity overnight. Like
I was
must
gonna
be
say-
like
Hawk Tuig became a celebrity less than overnight.
No, that's who he's talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Bobby. They both did.
No. The Hawk
No, I'm
Tuah
saying-
girl, she was just that annoying girl at the poker table. Wouldn't shut
I'm
up.
saying-
Oh, yeah.
With Hawk Tuah, though, it's like she is so new to this, and that was probably like her 5th thing in 5 days, and she's never done anything like this before. Like, you got to give her a little like leeway to like, this is exhausting.
She has
like,
no idea what she's doing too. It's all on the fly. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
she's like
getting paid
19.
just fine.
Yeah, she's making great money, but I'm saying, be like, oh, she was annoying at the table. She
She was.
fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Whoever her
She
PR
does.
team is probably telling her to be annoying.
that was her 10th media engagement in 6 days, you know?
Fair
But
Anyway.
we'll move on. But it was very funny that Rob had to write that down. Like, you can't remember.
Listen,
love
you
it.
gotta strategize,
Love
you
all of
gotta
it. It
see
worked
it all.
exactly the way I wanted the question to work. It was perfect.
That was very good. Name one thing that men do differently than women. And Javi goes, one thing? That was very funny. Handle their emotions. Definitely true. You know, I joke that like I maybe don't handle them any better, but definitely a thing in normal life. So I had obviously I write a lot of these questions with my own thoughts in mind. So
Oh, you wrote
where
some
I was
stuff, too?
going with it was
that's how thoughts work.
men, or maybe not Javier, but men who are big sports fans, they schedule their calendar around the sports year. It's not like winter, spring, summer, fall. It's like football season, NBA playoffs, March Madness. Like, that's how I evaluate seasons. Like, and I feel like that's a thing
In
that
the
guys
summer.
do. That
And then there's just the summer.
Yeah, that's what men do. Yeah.
that's called
Everything you just said, and then the summer.
no. The summer is just baseball.
Baseball, but just the summer. Yeah. Exactly. Baseball is all year to me in a sense. I don't know why. I just feel like baseball is essentially all year.
Sometimes the Olympics, sometimes the World Cup can also be summer.
True.
Real men
Could be
can
World
grow
Cup
facial
season.
hair.
Yeah,
Facial
Olympics
hair.
was huge. The
I could
basketball.
grow
I was
for
watching
sure.
every game.
I got a nice
Yeah.
shadow.
Also
Yeah.
the Masters, April, the Masters, the golf. I mean, there's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, I agree with you. If you're a sports head and you're watching a lot of this stuff and now you're gambling on it and you really weren't into it to begin with, but now you're watching it because you're gambling and whatever it might be, it's
All right,
crazy.
I'll put it to you like this. If someone asked you what season is November, my first thought is football season and then
Yeah.
fall.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go. I was gonna say pee sitting down.
Javi.
That's you. That's not men. That's you.
That's men. Fucking most men. All 3 out of 4 men, judging by this focus group.
Javi, turn your brightness up, bro. I can't see your face. The sun went down.
Honestly, I don't even think I could make it any brighter. I don't know.
I was talking on your screen.
He's got a remote.
Damn, you got a remote? You got a remote out here? This guy's doing it.
You look like a serial killer who's like wants to like almost get caught, but not quite.
I'm giving you just enough information so you know I'm good.
Like they might find like an Easter egg for the cops to try to find you.
All right, next one.
I mean, it's not a serial killer for the record.
Yeah.
But hang on, real quick. What would you guys? Do you guys have any answers before we move on? Men do differently than women.
Drive. But
that's a good one.
But that's a bit. Like, I have to say the caveat because Chrissy will watch this, and everyone needs to know that Chrissy's a hell of a driver. But in general, women.
And I wouldn't say that doesn't mean like fast driver, slow driver.
No, good driving. Talking about.
No, I wanted you to say it.
Yeah. No
Rob, where you at?
I'll die on that hill.
I was thinking about chicks pee sitting down. That's just where my mind went to. But
yeah.
I wasn't thinking like physical things, but I guess that's not. I guess you can't sit like. I wasn't gonna say I wasn't gonna say like bench press. You know what I mean? Like
what, men use a urinal? Women don't use urinals.
Jerk off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't even know these communal bathrooms now.
He's like Rob's like they touch themselves differently.
This is a fact.
You took it to another level.
All right. The next question was steak from a steakhouse, pasta fresh from Italy, Spanish food from PR, Japanese food from Japan. Rank them. And you rank them in exactly that order. I think the only thing I would switch is pasta fresh from Italy. I think I'm moving that 1, and then I'm moving steak 2. Because I feel like a steak, like a good steak, is good, but it's kind of hits it. There's a ceiling for that to me. Amazing pasta, like fresh pasta from Italy. I feel like that's like peak. I don't know. That's me.
There's also more things you could do with pasta, you know.
Pasta has some variety. I think it's kind of just steak.
I can see that.
Even though filet and T-bone, we can get into it, but different cuts of steak, but kind of still the same gist.
Yeah, bro. When you go to those fucking sick-ass steakhouses and they bring out a crazy tomahawk steak, like
chopped up.
You know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I noticed Rob didn't have to write the food one down.
Well, I just left it in order. I would have if I had.
That's true. I did put it in order when he heard it back. He said that was the order. That's true.
It's a fair rebuttal. No, there's no way pasta from Italy isn't number 1. That's crazy talk. Pasta from Italy is definitely number 1. Have you been? But am I the only one who's been to Italy in this?
I've been to Italy as well.
I have not been to Italy. So.
Have you been to Italy, Javi?
That's how long it took for you to brag, huh? No, I have not been to Italy.
I literally flexed as soon as the podcast started. I've been bragging since it started. But
it's been 4 years now, Javi. You just tuning in?
I've been to Italy. It was very nice. Sicily, Rome, Venice. Who's counting? But no, it's not even close. When getting bolognese in Italy, and then you look at the pasta, and it looks like a different shape than any pasta you've ever seen. Like just shapes you've seen before, but just better. Like somehow, like it doesn't make sense. Like it's like being on mushrooms, and you go to like your street, and it looks exactly the same but different. The pasta looks like penne, but just better for some reason. Like better color, better shape, and obviously the sauce, everything, just anything. If you just were like, where would you rather have food from in the world? I'd say Italy. Obviously, I haven't been to
the fucking.
I haven't been to France, but
the water in Italy is just. That's what makes the pasta, the bread there. It's just elite, bro. Like, yeah. Spanish food from PR has to be mentioned here, though. Obviously, I'm the only one here that's lived in PR for a little bit of time. And, bro, if you get authentic, like a real authentic Spanish food, I mean, I don't know. Like,
I have been to PR. I don't remember the food so much.
Paella, a real meat paella from one of my favorite restaurants in PR is ridiculous. Absolutely. The dish against anything basically.
If you haven't guessed, I've also been to Puerto Rico. But no, I mean, I'm with Javi. I don't really remember the food. I was not like, oh my god, the food from Puerto Rico is crazy. Like, it's good food, but I
lived there. I feel like if I went on vacation, I wouldn't know shit either. I really feel that way. It's harder to know.
But yeah, that speaks to it though. Almost that like if you go on vacation in Italy, you're obviously gonna get good food. Like I've been to the Bronx and had amazing Spanish food. Freaking yo quiero pollo guisado con arroz blanco, con habichuelas rojas. You know how it goes.
Chopped Italian cheese.
Bronx days.
Fuck yeah. But you're right though. That sentiment's true. If you went anywhere for a slice of pizza in New York, the pizza's gonna be fire. Like you don't need to find this specific restaurant to find the best dish of that Spanish food. You're right. The regular leveling of Italian food is just already elite. Yeah.
And then I've never been to Japan. I have no fucking clue.
I've been to Japan, but I don't like Japanese food. I can't eat fish and shit. I don't like sushi. You like sushi, Rob?
No, I can do the rolls, some of the things, tuna, but not the main.
Chicken teriyaki.
I mean, yeah, obviously, but I'm talking about the raw fish aspect.
Yeah, Javi, you like Japanese food?
I like. I wouldn't say I like Japanese food. I'll eat it. It's good, but deep fried sushi is fucking delicious.
Damn, what is deep fried sushi?
I never had that.
What do you mean?
You gotta try it.
Shrimp tempura?
Is that deep fried?
Is that what you mean?
Like shrimp tempura you're talking about?
Deep fried sushi. No, like sushi rolls, deep fried. Like it's on the menu. They usually have a couple items.
That's some Cali shit.
Next time you go, you gotta try it. So fucking good.
That's some San Diego shit right there. We gotta try it. We gotta take a trip out.
Damn. All right, Hots, take over the last one for you.
All right, which ones did I do? Did that one? Oh, and the last one is: would you rather be 6'5" but go shaved head bald at 25, or 5'10" with a perfect head of hair? We got Nick in the chat writing what's wrong with bald. I'd rather have fucking hair. That's what's wrong with it. Fucking, I don't know. It's close for me. I think there's factors that play into it. Like we've already talked about that I'm like to brag, so I think I'm a handsome guy. The one thing that I am insecure about is like, damn, my hair isn't what it used to be. And that's
we spoke about this. A long talk on the driveway about the hair.
That's why I work out. That's all because I'm ready to go bald. I gotta keep working out like one more year, and then I'm ready to like shaved head, bald, transform.
Here we go. Or you can get the plugs and put them on the head.
Hot's got like a piece of both. He's 5'10" and bald.
Yeah, I'm dead. I have the worst of both worlds.
5'10's also just too tall, by the way. 5'10's too tall for I feel like that's still a good height. I got to take 5'10 with the hair.
You're pretty tall.
5'10 you're still cooking with girls. Like, I feel like if it was like 5'8", 5'7", 5'6", something agrees, like 5'5", like you said 5'5", and had good head of hair, I might have to think about it.
No, but you got to think about the inverse is that 6'5" is ridiculously tall. Like, girls can't even see your hair.
True. 6'5".
Yeah, then you're bald.
6'5", girls, dude. 6'5", you could be fat, bald, you'll still pull. 6'5" is tall.
Girls love that height.
Girls like tall. Height is probably number one for girls.
Height might be primo. You think if you were ranking girls, do you think height is one?
I think it's
unless you're ranking men. Do you think height is number one for them?
I will say girls will take a 6'5" guy who's like a 6 over like a 5'8" guy who's like a 9.
Yo,
I don't know.
This might be a hot take. I don't know. 5'8" and they're a 9, 6'5" and they're a 6, and you're saying the 6 is pulling harder?
I think so, and I think the 6. Well,
by definition, they're a 9, they're a 6. So
yeah, we're just doing really that's like those numbers are arbitrary. We're just,
I guess
eye beholder is obviously in play here.
6'5" is going to add to their 6, make it an 8 or whatever because they're 6'5". I get what you're saying. Where like if it's baked into their rating, like I get what you're saying. But I
think we're getting too technical.
Right. No, I made a bad analogy. Fair enough. That was a good call out.
Eye beholder. Like if this girl thinks that tall men are good, or they, eye beholder is huge there too. I feel like.
I think it's the biggest advantage you could have that's out of your control. It's better than a handsome face, like in terms of like bare minimum.
Having like extreme height, 6'5", 6'4", stuff like that.
I guess you said we could go even shorter. What if you're 5'1" and you have a really ridiculously handsome face? Like crazy, you're fucking Johnny Depp, but you're 5'1".
5'1's insane. It's the smallest person.
That's like
Johnny Depp has a ridiculous face.
Female.
yeah. Johnny Depp has a ridiculous face.
Right.
I'm comfortable enough with my sexuality.
Let's get to the last question, and Nick's gonna get upset now. Who is the dumbest smart person in our fantasy football league? Rob had to think about it for a second, and then he goes, Nick.
Hardly had to think about it.
I was gonna say I don't think Rob thought about it at all.
I'm trying to help, bro. I'm trying to
Listen, Nick knows I love him.
No, I love
he's
the
a
family
brother.
banter.
But,
I mean, we all saw it when Avonte Maddox tackled the guy in the end zone, and he's like, "How is that pass interference?"
That was crazy. That
was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And he like stuck to that take.
He
didn't
he was like
back
trying
off
to
at
die
all.
on the hill for like half a minute. It's true, Nick. That is true, man. You were dying on this hill of Maddox didn't do anything on the play. The still shot didn't do a ton of justice, but his hand was clearly on top of the guy in the photo.
He also just gave me a free $20 for CeeDee Lamb playing when CeeDee Lamb had zero leverage and absolutely had to play no matter what this season. Like, there was no way. He would have made more money this season than he made the rest of his career.
You owe Nick a beer for that layup. You owe Nick a beer for that layup.
No, that's the whole point is he gave me the bet. Why would I pay him back half of his bet buying him a beer? What do I look like, a fucking Manook?
Let's get into the matchups this week.
No, there was one more. It was who was
more?
Javi's favorite Mexican athlete.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, we should just
Single.
skip that.
He couldn't think of a single Mexican athlete. I was like, dude, he's went to Canelo versus Cotto in Vegas. Like, he saw Canelo Alvarez fight live, and he couldn't think of his name. I was like,
you
saw
on your Mexican athletes, bro.
I was like, you saw him fight live, and he just fought this past weekend, and I called him a Garino, which is like a light-skinned Mexican dude, and he still couldn't think of who I was talking about. That's crazy.
You could see the face, though. You could tell.
I couldn't remember his name. I was under pressure.
Too much pressure.
The wheels were turning. But yeah, what do you like about Canelo Alvarez? Why is he your favorite Mexican athlete?
How about Nate Diaz? Is he Mexican?
Yeah, he's Mexican, American.
That's a good answer, too. A little bit more of a fan favorite. Yeah, there you go.
UFC, yeah.
He just Googled Mexican athletes on his phone.
Question. I have a question. I was asking Rob earlier about the fight. I didn't see much of the fight on Saturday. He said, save it for the pod. I just want to give you guys some peace to be able to, I figured you both saw the fight. What were your thoughts on it with Sugar in the Oculus or whatever that place is called? What are your guys' thoughts on the fight?
The
Sphere, Las Vegas Sphere, which
Sphere,
looked insane. That venue was incredible, but the whole lead up to the fight, I was disappointed with Sugar Sean. The weigh-in, he didn't look himself. He looked like he knew that he had lost the fight weeks prior. When they booked that fight, he knew he had lost. He knew Merab was just going to take him down, hold him there, and that's it. That's pretty much all he did. The stand-up, neither did much. It was just avoiding takedowns. And I think he just admitted defeat before the even fight happened.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that take, but I do agree that there's not much really to talk about. It was kind of a one-sided, takedown. I think the UFC. No, it was a 5-round decision.
Wow,
3-round, just took him down, controlled him. I think the UFC is going to find itself in a problem area if every champion starts becoming grappling dependent without even people who finish fights. Don't get me wrong. I like jiu-jitsu. I like wrestling when you take someone down and you beat them up, but you take someone down for 5 rounds. Sean O'Malley didn't have a mark on his face. It's boring. It's not entertaining. And there's only so much you could put a fucking lipstick on a pig when in terms of we're at the Sphere, we got these cool stories, we got this cool setup.
You were doing that whole build-up of the Mexican tradition, I believe, during the fights, right? For each round they were introducing some kind of history.
Movies and this and that and all this shit, but it's basically the fights are the product at the end of the day, and the sport has grown so quickly, and you see it even with not just sports but companies. When you grow so fast and you almost grow too fast. And now they're at a point where they're putting on cards every weekend They're having so many fights. It's starting to become watered down.
Product, you're saying, like watered down a little bit?
Yeah, they're watering it down. When I was coming up as a UFC fan in high school, I started watching The Ultimate Fighter Season 1. That's when I started, Die Hard ever since. There was like one pay-per-view every 2 or 3 months. Then eventually it was like one pay-per-view a month. Then it was like a fight night once a month and a pay-per-view once a month. Now it's 3 fight nights every month, a pay-per-view every month. You got to pay for UFC Fight Pass. They got Dana White Contender Series on Tuesday. They got The Ultimate Fighter still. It's so much that you can't have these giant cards that are stacked. Or if you do have a stacked card for the next 4 months, the product's going to suffer because you don't have the fighters, because guys can only fight twice a year.
They're waiting for that stacked card. Got it.
Yeah, so if you stack a card, then all these guys who are your big money makers can't fight, and those next few cards are going to stink, And so
sure.
it's kind of
interesting.
But, it's
like you said, especially if guys like Sugar Sean are losing, that's also bad for the product too. It's one of their superstars, emerging superstars, and a guy like him losing. And I'm not a big fan, but I barely heard any press on anything to do with UFC this whole weekend. It felt like the NFL slate just absolutely dominated the weekend of sports. I barely even heard about Judge's Grand Slam on Friday. I'll be honest about that. Like, I'm a Yankee fan. It's the only reason I heard about it. But
to be fair,
football's crushing right now.
The NFL is king, super king, dominant. And I want to just shout out real quick before we just breeze past it. I do like Merab. He does have some character. He's on social media, very funny. He's trying to build like a brand, but just his fighting style isn't entertaining. He's just a cardio machine, comes at you nonstop, and you just can't fend him off over and over again. He's just going to keep coming. And unless you get, lucky with a clean shot, and he has a chin, so it's hard. It's just tough style to beat, but not a fun style to watch. So shout out to him. He did what he had to do, but it's good for him, but not good for the brand, in my opinion.
For sure. Appreciate the outlook, guys. That's good shit. Let's get into some
of real quick, we laughed about it, but shout out to Canelo Alvarez, beating, whooping ass this weekend, continuing to be an absolute monster. I'm a huge Canelo Alvarez guy, just like Javi, huge Canelo Alvarez fan.
Javi just updated his team name. Diddy Did It. That's his new team name. We'll kick it off there about our fantasy league. I think we all knew that, for the record. But anyway, that video in that hotel is fucking nuts, for the record. If you haven't seen that. All right, keeping it moving here. Let's go through the matchups. We'll start with the first matchup that came up on my thing, which is Shalevin's block versus Team Cheney. This one came down to the wire a little bit. Obviously the Houston matchup on Sunday Night Football was massive for Rob. Texans defense, getting 16 points for him. Elite start right there, obviously, for you, Rob. Good shit. Obviously, with the rookie quarterback, multiple weapons out for Chicago, banged up team. Offensive line is abysmal. It was a great start. So kudos to you, bro. 2 interceptions, 7 sacks. That's a huge performance from the defense.
I mean, I needed it, because didn't do anything.
Yeah. Especially in the circumstances, Ficini threw up points. You were in a battle, a close game, and for that start to work out the way it did. Shout out to Ficini. I mean, no A.J. Brown, putting up
Tebow
a big number
hurt.
without it. I'm just going to – so I have actual news here. I'm going to break some news. Oh. Fantasy League news. This is some investigative reporting.
Oh, God.
I did. So I was talking to my brother-in-law. We know he's not an avid user of the chat, if you will.
As was I.
He sees 1 in every 100 messages, if that.
He just sent all of the messages for the whole season today.
Yeah, or no, he probably didn't see, like I said, he'll look at like 1 day out of 100 maybe in the chat. So he looked at the settings. He's one of the smart ones. He looked at the settings. He knew it was full point PPR. Not tell us, he just assumed it was voted on and changed, and he had the info that it was a full point PPR league, and that's why he has AJ Brown, Zay Flowers,
Debo.
No, I don't believe it.
Jameson Williams.
Eckler is such a PPR pick, though. My God.
He said receivers. He was like, I just wanted 4 starting receivers.
No.
Jameson Williams, the kid's got wide out. He's got
I
wide
think
eyes.
he's just saying that to prop up his chest and.
I don't think he's
I knew.
bullshitting. Because he was like, because we were like talking about trade, and he's like, yeah, but it's full point PPR this year.
I have to talk to Eric in person, in his face, and ask him the question and see the way he answers. This is the only way I'm going to be convinced. He has to come on the show. I was talking to him. He's going to come on. He's got to come on.
I'm telling you, I'm breaking the news. I'm a news breaker. I'm a real journalistic integrity.
I think you're.
I
don't know.
I would not dispel this info unless it was breaking news in my life that I brought to the table. And I will say, Rob probably knew too, and Eddie drafted like it.
He told me
close to the source.
on Monday.
Too close to the source.
So Rob also drafted knowing. Let's be clear.
I did not. No, I did not.
You set up the settings. How did you not know?
Bro, have you seen Sleeper? There's literally 50 settings.
I'm under the guys that Rob was ignorant to the point, and that Pacini was also ignorant to the point. But because his team is good, he's wearing the jacket because the jacket fits like a fucking glove.
Pacini didn't even log into Sleeper until 5 minutes before the draft.
If he got you there,
that's not true. Because Eric did one mock draft, so he's been logged in before that. And also,
I thought we were still on ESPN.
Nah, he was in a mock draft.
He was in a mock draft.
Was there.
I saw it.
And also, what's really fake news isn't Eric bragging about it. It's Rob saying he don't know. He didn't know. That's the real fake news.
I don't know about that. I think I'm more inclined to believe Rob. Pacini's such a little shit.
I don't know.
I have to talk to Eric in person.
I don't know. I fucked up.
Pacini's like, yeah, let me brag about my 1-1 team. Nah, bro. He's fucking just like, yo, I got 4 wide receivers because it was.
It's such a minuscule but like nice detail jacket to wear. It's like something that you would think would be true based on the circumstance of being 1-1. What's he wearing? He's not really wearing any gloat.
I've known Pacini too long.
That's
but
too long. That is the gloat.
Either way, we'll move on to be continued. But like I said, I got
nice performance by Eric. We could mention, nice performance. His team is actually pretty good.
I'm a journalist. Good. I'm a true journalist.
I respect you doing some journalists on behalf of the
pod. Journo.
I love that. I mean, honestly, his team's good. If he didn't have injuries, he'd probably have one of the better squads in the league. This 4 wideouts: Zay Flowers, Deebo Samuel, AJ Brown, and fucking
Jameson Williams. It's stacked. That's 4 wide receivers.
That's a nice 4 for a 14 team. That's really nice. He has Eckler, who's been solid. Mark Andrews kind of emerged back this week for 51 yards, solid in PPR format. Geno Smith, solid player.
But he has Jordan Love injured too. He has Jordan Love and AJ Brown injured.
Yeah, 100%. This team would be formidable if he was healthy. So
and Deebo injured too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Deebo did the performance. I just looked though. I was wrong. He didn't go out in the middle of the game. It was after the game they announced it. So
he had a great game. Yeah.
He had a great game. So he got his performance out of him. Yeah.
And Rob needed that. He was 0-1 to get to 1-1 is big in this league. Yeah. You know, it's going to be hard for teams to separate early.
Rob getting 132 points with only 12 from Dak. I expect Dak to continue to put up numbers. He's going to figure it out. They didn't have a preseason, a lot of noise and negotiation and bullshit the whole offseason, a lot of whatever. So I feel like Dak will find the form to get 18, 20 every week normally. In my opinion, I feel like they'll turn a corner. Even if the defense is not good for Dallas, they're going to be in shootouts. They're going to be in games. It's just too talented. So CeeDee Lamb obviously is going to be CeeDee Lamb every time. James Cook was a monster. That's a great sign to see his usage being a lot higher than the week 1.
It's going to run down every player on every team in every matchup.
Talk about Cooper Kupp, but Rob, I just want to give you credit too. Obviously, I'm not going to overshadow the win, which is what Rob got this week. Can't talk about only Pacini. But yeah, shouts to you, Rob. Good dub, bro. Very nice.
Thanks, homie.
All right, man. We'll keep it moving here. Let's move to the next matchup. Jamar We Neighbors, it's question mark, versus What's a Goon to a Glizzy. We got a win here for D'Lo. Jamar We Neighbors, 127-113. Again, 2 solid performances. The Kate Otten start by Nick needs a lot of looking at. It's a negative 0.40 points this week. That's fucking terrible. Doesn't really seem like he's in the fold at all for that team. But you guys got any thoughts on either of these teams? What do you guys think about these teams? You think they're real? You think they're fake? What do you think?
We got 2 losses in terms of team names.
Okay. Oh, yeah, true. What's a Goon to a Glizzy and Jamar We Neighbors?
Yeah, bad. I hate, honestly, if you're going to do a pun for your team name with the player names, it's got to be good.
The porta potty.
What are you asking? Are we neighbors? You know, if someone's your neighbor, you never have to ask. They live next to you. It's not a question you ask. Are we neighbors? No one's ever asked that before.
That's true. That's definitely very true.
Doesn't make sense as a pun. And then what's a goon to a glizzy? Or whatever.
Goon to a goblin instead. It's what's a goon to a glizzy?
No, Nick loves
That's not even a pun. That's just changing a word in a sentence.
It's just like a line. Yeah, it's a line.
Wordplay. That's good.
Wordplay.
That's not wordplay.
There you go, Javi. Let him know. It's wordplay.
That's not what wordplay is, though.
It's true.
That's just changing a word in a sentence. That would be like saying, like,
instead of saying "What's a goon to a glizzy?" It would be like, "What's a goon?"
Yeah, but that's like a bar. That's like a bar.
Like, what's a goon to a pizzy? That would be like
what's a goon to an octopus? We could just put anything there if that's wordplay.
It's hard.
Damn, I just saw Evan Ingram's out. Is that a serious injury? What's going on with that? Week 3 status TBD. Coach Peterson noted Monday that there's a degree of optimism.
In the end, I think both of these guys are pretty solid fantasy players. I think Nick has excelled a lot. He showed me a lot in his first few years, to be honest. Won a lot of most points.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think he's almost like one of those guys who knows more about fantasy. I don't know if he's got a little insider. Maybe Rob's sister's helping him out. Then he knows about like
World.
Then he knows about like actual football. He might be one of those guys, you know. Like I'm one of the guys who's knows more about actual football than fantasy. He might be the other side of that, you know.
I mean, he did take 2 Eagles.
That's true.
Well, he loves the Eagles.
Saquon and Smith.
I mean, in my opinion, literally, he took the 2 best.
Just a real quick fantasy thought. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm going to cheer for the Cowboys no matter what. I don't feel the need to put them on my fantasy team to be like, oh, I'm a Cowboys fan. Like, it's almost like the opposite. Like, I'm less inclined to take them because I'm cheer.
I don't believe any of those picks were reaches, from what I remember. I believe they were like the correct pick at the time. Like, I would have to look back, but what was Saquon's pick? Let's see here. 1.12. So the 12th overall. That's
a great pick. Yeah, that's actually a good pick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's panning. He's going to be maybe RB1 this year with C-Mac down. And Pacheco down. The guys are going down left, right. Maybe Kamara will actually end up being crazy to RB1 out of nowhere. What the fuck is that? But and he got Devontae 3.12. So that's right too. Sounds right also in a 14 team. So I mean, if he was reaching for 3 guys, it would be fucked, and then he'd have to wear it. But he's getting the guys at the right time. He's not stressing it. Nico Collins, keeper, is fucking elite. All right, this guy's unbelievable. Wide receiver 1, ridiculous player. But shouts to D'Lo as well. Neighbors looks like he's emerging as a 1, like a true 1. He's a fucking animal. Kyle Pitts is a bust. I don't know how many times I have to keep saying this on wax. I'm going to keep talking about it every fucking year, every fucking day, until Maine gets it through his skull that Kyle Pitts is a fucking bust. I'm going to keep saying it. People keep starting him in fantasy like he's something. He belongs on the fucking waiver wire. He's a fucking waiver wire tight end. I'm tired of it. Moving on. Brian Robinson, that's a surprise guy. I give credit to all you guys. I believe both of you guys, Rob and Hots, were talking about Brian Robinson offseason at one point or another. I was not. I was thinking that it was going to be a mess over there. He's been great. Honestly, he's been great. So, shockingly. So, shouts to D'Lo for a nice dub. Keeping it moving here. We can go to Eddie's matchup with Javi. Javi, talk to me, man, about your matchup. Let's hear it. I want to hear a little bit about your team.
Hey, man. He had that one player from the Saints, Alvin Kamara. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but he went fucking off. 48 points, 4 touchdowns. What?
No, you're like, yeah, that guy. I'm like, no one's ever heard of him. He's like one of the best running for the past 10 years.
Yeah, 48 a lot though.
Went fucking off. He had 48 points, and even then, our game was close. It came down to the wire. If Tank Dell fucking caught a couple receptions,
that's egregious. Yeah, even a
35 I would have won.
Kamara gets the dub. 35 points from Kamara. Javi gets the dub.
No, your take is 100% right that he's what killed you. It's just funny. You were like, that guy, Alvin Kamara? Like, we were literally just talking about him 2 minutes ago.
Javi, I'd be excited, man. Your team is fucking good. Kyler, Kyron, Montgomery, Garrett, Olave. That's a nice 5. I'm being serious. Kyler looks good.
I appreciate it. I tend to fucking make like I should have done this, should have done that. Like I had, I was looking at the waiver last week, and it was Alec Pierce from the Colts. I was gonna pick him up, and I decided to switch it last minute And I would have gotten him if I would have just kept my original bid, and he would have given me enough points to win. So it's dumb little mistakes like that. I'm like, if I would have just stick to my decision and not second guessed it late at night, I would have won. But whatever. I'm looking forward now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I will say the one thing is like, yeah, you got smoked by a monster performance for Kamara, and then also like Tank Dell might be like someone who's tough to play with Nico and Diggs there now. It's tough to have 3 receivers in the fold, and they have, Joe Mixon, but he's questionable now. But I think that's something to monitor going forward. Also, I'm a newsbreaker. Javi rejected my trade offer today. It was
I wasn't going to bring it up.
It was Tyreek Hill and Braylon Allen for Olave and Kyron Williams.
See, my thing is Miami quarterback situation. I gotta see how that plays out. Kyron Williams, he's my keeper, so I feel like I have to ride him out a little bit. Like
Sure.
I can't just trade him a second season. So like it was tempting, but I had to pass.
I do
And my
like
response-
I like Braylon Allen for the record. I'm a big fucking fan. Rob, you should be psyched as fuck as a Jets fan. He's on your team. I like
20
him.
years old.
My response to Javi was, I offer a fair offer. If you don't like it, I'm not going to try to sell you. I just try to offer fair, accept or decline. I'm never trying to swindle, never trying to make moves. I respect he doesn't trust the QB situation in Miami. Fair enough. I respect it. Braylon
I
Allen.
regret it.
Braylon Allen is the youngest player in the Super Bowl era to score 2 touchdowns in a game. He's 20 years old. Fucking think about he can't even have the fucking bar.
Crazy.
I'm pretty sure just to score 1, huh?
Yeah, he's so
I know
good.
too for sure. There was one guy like 75 years ago, pre-Super Bowl, who did it. I don't know if there's someone his age who scored 1 touchdown. I'd have to look into it, but I don't know off the top of my head. But for sure too.
Hots, I want to talk about one start by Eddie's team that won here, obviously against Javi, and it's that -2 points for the Cowboys defense, bro. Can you talk to me a little bit about what happened in that fucking game?
Yeah, I mean, I've said forever, maybe not forever, but the last 2 seasons especially, if the Cowboys go down in the beginning of the game, their roster is not constructed to play from behind. They don't have a good run defense. They need to get out offensively, take a lead, rush the passer, force them into passing situations. If you let the other team get ahead, we saw it in the playoffs last year against the Packers, obviously saw it against the Saints last weekend. If you get behind with this Cowboys team, there is a formula to beat them. If you win the coin toss, you should take the ball against the Cowboys and try to get the first score and go ahead. Because when they fall behind, they do not know how to play. When they go ahead, it's cruise control. They're one of the best teams in the league with a lead. They're one of the worst teams to come from behind.
Interesting.
It's a take I've had on record for a long time. And I said it after everyone's last week. Oh, they look good. They're on the road against Cleveland. I'm like, well, they went out and they went up 7-0. That's what they do when they do that. If they come out and they lose 7-0, again, that Packers game, as soon as the Packers decided to take the ball, not even score the first touchdown, I was like, all right, if they score here, we're in trouble. And then Aaron Jones, who dominates Dallas, goes out, gets that first touchdown. I mean, at that point, I know that they're not in a good spot, that their winning percentage has just gone down dramatically. And I think that as good as the Saints are, I think the Cowboys are going to be susceptible to that basically all year. Their linebackers are still small, even with the addition of Kendricks and the rookie Maris Lealfau, and their linebackers who are properly sized are either inexperienced in the rookie or very past their prime with Eric Kendricks.
They can't run.
So we don't have elite run stopping linebackers, but we have great pass covering linebackers for when we get ahead.
Interesting. Such a good take. You have said that on the pod before, so it's interesting. It's the same old story. That's why I wanted to ask you about it, ask your take. That's an awesome take. Maybe they'll turn it around. I think that they're still getting used to Zimmer's defense to give you guys a little bit of grace. I think that that's something. It's a new scheme, obviously, new coordinator in there, new guy. And also it's a new guy even calling the play in the play. Kendricks has the mic. It's all new in a way, I think. And I think some of that is going to take some time. But
it's a personnel thing. It's not a scheme thing. It's about the size of the D tackles and the size of the linebackers.
Enough to hang on the run defense. Yeah. I feel you.
Opinion.
All right, let's keep it moving here. We'll go to the next matchup. Congrats to Eddie Saint on his dub there, 1-1.
Congrats,
A lot
Eddie.
of parity in our league. Javi, you're right
Yeah.
there, 113, 0-2. But you're right there, bro. You're not like the other 0-2 team, which we'll get to in a second. So don't you worry.
Zach loves patting Javi on the head. He did it in the group chat. So.
Nah, I don't pat
Hey,
nobody
I
on the head.
appreciate
I'm
it.
honest soul. Don't listen to him.
I appreciate
All right, let's move
Did
to
I call me
the
today? I thought you
next
was calling me
matchup,
to
which
do
is
like
a
a trade.
fucking blowout. Let's talk about this blowout. As much as I love shitting on Casey and I love any excuse to do it at any waking moment, I can't do it right now because John didn't hold up his end of the bargain this week. John's team folded like a lawn chair. Let's just call a spade a spade. We got injuries we got the injury bug hitting this team. We got the team not performing up to its task. We got some good performances. Devonta Adams emerged, which is nice to see. A couple nice spot starts by Hots. The McLaughlin kicker start is a nice start. Things like that. But I don't know. That Pats defense against Seattle, that one had my head scratching just a little bit. The Komet switch in and out with Hunter Henry you spoke about on the chat. We don't need to get into that. That's tough,
I mean,
though.
I don't really look at that as like a bad
That's
play. I have the Bears
Tough.
quarterback. I'm trying to get double points. Henry did nothing week one. It wasn't like, he just emerged and had 90 yards in the first half. But still, in terms of my lineup play, I think the ones that I actually were considering, like, all right, should I do this? Should I not? We're switching in Hubbard and switching in Alec Pierce at flex for
Luke McCaffrey.
fucking McMillan and McCaffrey. So I left about 25 points or whatever there. Bad mistake. But it's kind of one of those things where, like, I was never going to play Braylon Allen. I don't mind the Hunter Henry switch out, to be honest. I like Komet over him for the rest of the season. I think Nick dropping him provided an opportunity to get a legit tight end for the rest of the season. I think the Bears will come together a little bit. They play two good defenses.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But my team just sucked this week, and sometimes you just take one on the chin and, you fucking move on to next week. It's one of those. Throw out the tape.
Rob, what do you think of Casey's team? Honestly, talk to me.
Man, the team name and the avatar, killing it.
The Molester. His team name is Molester for people that
he's
can't
Big
see our
Mo.
league.
He's Big Mo.
MOE space LESTER.
Mr. Lester.
And the picture is of the black guy with the huge dick sitting there in a squat position, basically. But you can't see all of it. You can only see the guy's fucking head looking at you. It's weird.
I mean, otherwise the team looks good.
You think this team looks good?
I think it looks good. He's putting up points, PPR league,
I see a lot of pretending on this team. I smell a little.
Zach, you think Justin Jefferson is a pretender? That's you're like,
No,
oh, Justin Jefferson doesn't have one catch.
Justin Jefferson with Sam Darnold is the pretender. But
through 2 weeks.
You take away that one long bomb. I know what Hots hates when I do this. I don't do it.
The stupidest thing in the world.
It's fine, but it's a one shot play. Without that one shot play, it's 3 catches for 33 yards. Like I'm not buying.
Instead of just completely taking away, why didn't you make it like a 60-yard touchdown instead?
I guess
Though?
it's more applicable. Let's not do it to
know.
JJ because JJ deserves his stats. The idea of him not scoring is bullshit. So I'll leave it there. But the Brian Thomas 2 receptions for 94 yards is exactly the kind of point I'm trying to make. Don't even go there. You talk about a 70 or 80-yard bomb. He gets one other catch in the fucking game, and he gets 11 points in fantasy for PPR.
Nah, I think it was like 35 and 55.
That
it wasn't like
sounds
one
salty.
90-yard catch.
Whatever it was. It's like 2 major catches, like 150 something and 130 something. It's 2 catches in the whole game. That's the point. Aaron Jones fumble lost, scored less than Chandler in that game. That was against San Francisco, so maybe you could chalk that to the matchup. I'm not really so down on Aaron Jones. I like Aaron Jones. We'll see if that lasts a season, but I'm not a hater on him by any
Aaron
means.
Jones. I don't like Aaron Jones.
I like him, but I'm not in love, and I feel like they played Chandler a lot this past weekend against San Francisco. So what does that tell you about the confidence? I don't know. Kelsey had 1 point in the game. Am I crazy to think that this team is just kind of meddling? Chain's really nice, though. A lot better than everyone thought he was going to be. People thought Casey was dumb for the Rashee Rice, not keeping Rashee Rice over a Chain. That's turning into a really good choice. A Chain is very much the RB1 there, in my opinion.
Let's see now without Tua, though.
Yeah, and that's the question. What is a Chain now without Tua? I probably think he'll still be great because it's the running back. It's not a receiver. So you figure the dump offs, the PPR league that we're in. He had 7 receptions this past week, Rob. He takes one of those 40 yards. I mean, he's eating. There you go. So Chase Brown is a guy that he's going to have to stop starting, unfortunately. That's not working out at all. He does have Polk on his bench, but another guy, 2 catches in the game for 12 yards. He got a scrummage TD. I like Juwan Jennings on his bench. I did mention to that offline about him because of Debo's injury, and now and with McCaffrey's injury, they'll have to throw more with Purdy. But this team just smells. I don't know. Just smells a little bit. It's a nice win. Congrats to Casey being 2-0, and being the league leader for right now. But we're all coming, I feel like. And I feel like his team is ready to take some L's. I'm not ready to don him as basically the dominant team. But his team's good. But we'll see what happens, is my point. Let's keep it moving here. Let's go to Jake versus Joey's team. So Joey's team is actually a little underrated as fuck. Bowers turns out to be a really nice pick. 18 points. He's a stud. You guys have any thoughts on either of these teams here with Joey and Jake here? Any thoughts on either?
I think Joey is always kind of a threat in the beginning and then kind of stops paying attention, things like that. So, but if he keeps attention, I think he's a threat. Jake is always kind of in the thick of it. Very good fantasy player, in my opinion. Does a nice job, always in the playoffs, won some championships. I think both these guys are threats long term. But Joey, I just see eventually losing interest and starting injured players and just not trading or doing anything, making any moves.
I don't know. He's coming on the pod next week, so you'll be able to say to his fucking mug next week. I'm looking forward to that. But he had 6 players in double digits. I mean, the formula's there. I mean, he definitely is getting it done. Jake's team is nice too. Baker's been a surprise. He looks great, honestly. That rushing touchdown with that wiggle, the way he runs, the way Baker runs is fucking hilarious on that rushing touchdown. He's like scooting all the way into the end zone like that. It's hilarious. But yeah, Fairbairn with the 20 bomb. I don't know. Jake's team, we'll see. I'm not impressed. Zamir White, Amari Cooper, Parkinson, and Pittman. That 4 names in this starting lineup.
Tough.
We'll find out. That's tough. All right, keep it moving here. We'll go to Jamie versus BBL Drizzy, Jermaine's team. The score was 118-86. Jamie beats Jermaine in the rivalry matchup after a week's worth of shit talk from Jermaine. Interesting how that happened in the fantasy gods world. You guys have thoughts on this?
Death, taxes, and Jermaine not making the playoffs in fantasy football. 3 things are certain in life.
Yikes.
I love Jermaine. I think he actually, maybe this year, he's got a little bit of a. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I just don't see it. My team sucked this week, so I don't have much of a leg to stand on. But we're 1-1 out here.
What do you think of Jermaine's team, bro? Honestly, you think it's an anomaly?
You know what I think?
Come back.
I think
he's got the most points against.
I know the main thing that I felt when he was doing some mocks and all that, he was going the 0 RB strat, and he was relying and banking on his keeper of Mostert to be an RB1, RB2 at the in that mix, and he's already out. So, he's stuck.
Who started RB2 this week, Rob? Did you see?
Playing Jamal Williams.
Yikes.
RB2. We saw Xavier Worthy have a big week in opening night, and then, he'll probably be that boomer bust guy. And, he's starting Washington defense. So we're moving along.
Well, I will say the one thing with Mostert that I had to point out was he was like talking about Pacini with the 9th round keeper Zeke Elliott and was like, ew, 35-year-old, he kept me, like blah, blah, blah. And Zeke is 3 years younger than Mostert. And that's who he kept in an earlier round. Yes, Mostert had 21 touchdowns last year, but I think we've seen this all before. Jamal Williams led the NFL in touchdowns the next year, had 1 because Jameis Winston felt bad for him in the huddle. This is one of those situations where do we really think Mostert is an electric running back, or was it just kind of a one-off season? And was he
Jamal Williams with Detroit? Similar.
That's what I'm saying. And then the next season, literally, they had to feel bad for him. They were going to need the ball, and then they called it in the huddle to hand it off to him to get him 1 touchdown because he didn't go from most in the league to 0. That's right. I feel like Mostert is in that territory, and like I said, to rely on him, or like Rob said, I guess even before me, to be like, all right, I'm going to rely on this when it's like, I don't even think you could expect half of what he did last year, realistically.
No.
I think 7
touchdowns would have been great.
Nice. ETN would be a nice pick for him. He probably reached early for Hurts, which probably hurt his team there. No pun intended.
Yeah.
So I like London. I wasn't sure on him, but he made a really nice cut. in that last game at the goal line, or really ran a beautiful route to destroy
That's big
Slay.
for rapport with Cousins too, going forward, like for to catch that ball at the end of the game there, like London and Cousins, I expect them to now from that spot continue to elevate, just because that's a confidence type.
Wow,
of
I'm realizing he needed that to outscore my team this week. The Eagles should have never even given him that chance. He fucking ended
nuts.
up. Just
the London. What is the London performance without the Eagles burying the ball with running the ball? The game's fucking over.
It's crazy to think about that play call, and I know a lot of people be like, all he had to do was catch the ball, which is true. A lot of blame does fall on Saquon. He's got to catch that. But
he's got to catch that.
At 3rd and 4, you've been running the ball probably 6 yards a carry all game. You have a quarterback who's a threat, so it's not like you just get under center and hand it off. They blitz everyone, engage 8 in Madden, and they get a tackle for no gain at the worst. You could run a quarterback's power. You could run a quarterback sweep. You could run a read option. You could run a fucking speed option pitch out to Saquon. There's so many different opportunities and runs you could create on that 3rd and 4 to try to get the first. And guess what? If you get to 4th and 1, then you could be aggressive. Run the play clock all the way down, call your own timeout, tush push one time for the game. If not, they got to go get into field goal range with 50 seconds left. It is a crazy call to me to go for a pass there. And again, Saquon's a great receiving running back, but still you're calling a pass play to a running back. Like, at the end of the day, like, he's still not a receiver.
Yeah. Rob, thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, Vegas knows, man.
Yeah.
5.5.
Wasn't everyone coming out the stadium screaming that? Vegas knows like 80% of the money was on Philly.
I don't know. You think Saquon dropped
I said
on purpose?
No, of course not. But no, I said it last night in the chat. You have to run there. You've been running the whole drive. You maybe passed 3 times to Devonta Smith there. You just ran it with Hurts, with Saquon all the way down, and then you just stop at the goal line.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. These teams.
And then also, you know what else I did see too? That on the 3rd down play, they tried to draw them off sides, and they did, but nobody moved on the Eagles O-line, so they didn't get the offsides call. That's why Sirianni was freaking out.
No one smacked the defender when he was like encroaching. It was like
he just stepped over and then stepped back, and nobody moved on the O-line, and they did that on purpose. I saw the whole breakdown. It was like 6 seconds left.
You're talking about the purposeful penalty that they declined.
No, on 3rd down, before they took the timeout, they tried to have him jump off sides, and they did, but they didn't move on the O-line, so it was just the defender got back.
So you're not talking about the time that the Falcons went off sides on purpose and they declined it?
No, I'm talking about the 3rd and 3 or whatever it was. They had 6 seconds left on the play clock. I saw it. Hurts did a hard count. They got one guy to jump over. Nobody moved on the O-line. He got back. No offsides call. And you see Goddard upset after, and you see Sirianni freaking out after.
You're saying that this is the play that they ran to Saquon.
3rd and 3. This was before they took the timeout.
They ended up hiking that play is what you're saying and throwing it Saquon to
drop. They didn't hike it. They called timeout.
I think
they tried to get them to jump, then they called timeout, and then they ran the play to Saquon. I remember what you're talking about. I just didn't see the whole. I guess he jumped off sides, and then they didn't jump.
Yeah. Like Danny just said, there was only 6 seconds on the snap there when they were. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. To go
back
to
3rd and 4.
Either way, whatever.
Fucking ball.
Yeah,
run the fucking ball. Take 40 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, run the ball, idiot.
Especially when you're going to kick the field goal. That's crazy.
It's crazy. Sirianni could get fired this year. For the record, he's on the hot 100%. Seat. For the record,
he almost got fired last year.
Yeah, he almost got fired last year, but he's really him and Fangio are on the hot seat for sure, 100%.
Fangio just got there. It's fucking.
I know, but he'll get kicked. That's like
But my point being is, I feel like they put so much stake, Eagles fans, team, whatever, in the new coordinators, and we're like, Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio are so good. They're such a fucking step up, and it's like, why? What? Who? I don't know. I just didn't see it. And Fangio.
I don't know.
Fangio last night wasn't blitzing Kirk Cousins. Literally, I would say less than 10% of the plays they called a blitz.
especially on that last drive, they just let Kirk waltz down the field with no pressure. The guy's just sitting there in the pocket waiting for Mooney to get open. You can't play coverage for 10 seconds. It's just all of it. Makes no sense why Fangio's a loser. But to go back to the matchup here, shouts to Jamie for the dub. Obviously, a lot of shit going on with his team. Tua's going to be out on the IR now, but he got some good production at Singletary. Javonte was serviceable at 11. DJ Moore, serviceable at 11. DK, as he renamed him Big Dick as his player, he got 30 points for him. Big performance. George Kittle, 20 points. That's a huge performance from Kittle. Keon Coleman was a fat 0. Even with a fat 0 in his lineup, Jamie took care of business. But he's going to be tough for the next couple weeks here without Tua, without McCaffrey. But maybe he's got something cooking here a little bit. I don't know. Mooney's on his bench. Trevor Lawrence is on his bench. He got serviceable guys. Jonnu Smith is very much in the fold now with the quarterback situation. He probably could be a good tight end. I don't know. Maine's team, though, struggle bus. Yo, starting Lockett and Cooks over Reed on the Green Bay is tough. I feel like starting Commanders defense with the 30th ranked pass defense, that's just like a simple Google search. They're fucking terrible. Baker just cut them up for 4 touchdowns in week 1. Fuck you starting there. Like, that's not good either.
It was a start against Daniel Jones, to be fair.
Yeah, starting against Daniel Jones. And I said to him, something's got to give. 30th ranked or 29th ranked offense versus 30th ranked defense. It's like, you're going to generally go with the offense. Defense is bad. Go with offense always. That's like, you got to know that when it comes to fantasy, in my opinion. That's just, unless it's Bryce Young, I suppose. But shouts to Bryce Young. Maybe he'll be a Giant soon, actually, since we love to trade for Carolina players. But yeah, got to dig yourself out of the grave, BBL Drizzy. You're 0-2, 14th place. Maybe better days ahead. Maybe not. So, but as of right now, we got 2 2-0 teams. Shouts to Joey. Shouts to Casey. We got a bunch of 1-1 teams. Tons of parity. Basically, every team from 3 through 12 is 1-1, including everybody I believe on this screen, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, Javi's the other 0-2 team. Never mind. Sorry, Javi. But I thought it was Jamie. I really did. I swear to God, I thought it was Jamie. But
we didn't go over your matchup.
Oh yeah, we didn't go over my matchup. We can go over my matchup. That's fine. As the last one.
We got to take away J.K. Dobbins' 40-yard touchdown run. So let's take away, 1 point for the bonus for 100 yards. That's 3. 43, 4.3 yards for the yard, 6 for the touchdown, and then Zach has the 3rd fewest points in the league this week because if
you take away that run, he still has over 90 yards rushing. That's okay.
We could all start out.
He's actually a legitimate player, not a boom bust bullshitter, but that's okay.
So Justin Jefferson's a boom bust bullshitter.
No, I laid off that. I went to Brian Thomas.
Okay, whatever. Take away 1 play, and you're the 3rd fewest points in the league.
There's a difference. And he had 3 rushes, and he had 95 yards and a touchdown. Your point stands. He had 17 rushes, 131 yards.
We got to give Zach a couple flowers, before he gets big mad and starts cursing out everybody in the chat. Unless you compliment a couple players and let him know that he's doing good. You had a good start,
I appreciate that. I appreciate the head patting, Rod. I appreciate it. But anyway, tough matchup for me. I put up 122 and lost. The win was on my bench with Calvin Ridley. A terrible start by me. Lad McConkey, I started at Carolina because I thought Sauce Gardner was worth the shit and was going to shut down Ridley. That was a big mistake. But I'm still excited about my team. Shouts to fucking Eddie and the Miami boys. The vibes were obviously immaculate when you guys were in Miami. The kid comes back with the most points for the week. Big 50 bomb for the kid, as well as his bachelor party. So shouts to Brazil. Hots, how was Miami, kid, without divulging too much of the festivities? How was it, bro?
It was wild.
Okay.
I can't hang.
God.
My take is I can't hang.
Yeah.
I can't hang anymore. I'm dead. I'm washed up.
Damn, that's what Eddie was saying too, to be clear. When I spoke to him on the side, he was saying, I can't hang with these boys anymore. But I'm sure he'll get into it a little bit more next week on the pod. We got Brazil and Joey coming on the pod next week. But shouts to Eddie Harrison. Unbelievable. Let's talk about Marvin Harrison for 2 seconds here. That guy is freaky. Freaky stuff.
What's there to say? You saw it all year. Last 2 years in college, he's been crazy. He's a freak.
Yeah, Zach sent me a video before the season. He's like, look at this guy's route running. I was like, I've been watching fucking for 3 years at Ohio State. And it was one of the greatest route runners in the history of the NFL. Shocker that he's a good route runner.
He's such a big guy, though, for a route runner. He's such a big dude. The way he moves, he's like a Mike Evans out there. He's unbelievable.
No, I
He's a
disagree
big.
with
I
that
don't know if
take.
he's quite as big as Mike Evans.
He's tall.
probably
How big is he?
6'3", maybe.
He is 6'4". No, he is 6'4", like Mike. I
Yeah,
just
but
looked
he's
it up.
more slender. He's
Nah, Mike Evans is 6'5", clean,
Think so?
bald.
easy. 6'5", 230.
I don't know. Evans is a beast too, but Harrison's first year player. He'll grow into his size. I think he'll get a little bit bigger as the NFL goes. Yeah, Mike Evans, clean. You're right. 6'5", 230.
Yeah, I don't know. Marvin Harrison 6'4". Maybe on the roster sheet, but either way, he's definitely bigger than his dad was. He's not a small guy by any circumstances, but he's still. I guess you're right. He could grow into his frame. He's still a young guy, but he's an absolute stud. Ohio State wide receivers continue, besides Jackson Smith and Jigba, to dominate in the NFL. But
I mean,
this past week, Jackson Smith went for the 100 yards and had the emerge game that people think maybe he could have for the rest of the season. But we'll see if that's a shot in the dark. Obviously, Lockett didn't have a good game. Could be game flow dependent with those two. I feel like back and forth all year.
That's true. That's true.
So he did have a nice week this week. But again, that's week to week. I still agree with the take in general that JSN is still more of a boom bust flow player versus like a guy you can start blindly. But
yeah, Tyreek Hill on the block.
Send the trades through. Send the trades.
I want to shake things up.
Yeah, I'm down to trade as well. I have a lot of people on my team that I feel like are guys that could be assets to other people's teams, running backs. Maybe if you're interested in the Jonathan Brooks sweepstakes, come knocking. Maybe we could talk about something. But it's been a great episode here. Javi, Rob, appreciate you boys. Hope to have you guys back on later in the season when we have the whole pod maybe on for one episode. We'll get everyone in the fucking pod on this fucking video. It'd be ill. But look at Hot's such a doubter. I'll organize it.
He's like everyone in the league on the podcast. We'll all just be fucking having side conversations.
We can't even get everyone in the league to vote on a poll.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
It's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
But yeah, shouts to the boys. Row 26. Hot Heads Dreamers, we out of here.
Thank you.
Pleasure. And
thank you, Javi. Thank you, Rob.
Next week 3 wrap up with Joey in Brazil, and we'll be back all year here. So keep it locked.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, boys.
Peace.
Absolutely. Holla, holla.
There we go.